I will. I'll actually cry.
Well, look at that.
The first play.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to our special performance by Mrs. Stoll and Mrs. Hicks's Room, Friends. I apologize for the crowded quarters tonight. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce some special guests that we have with us. We have Mr. Gupton, Assistant Superintendent of our school district, Mr. Gupton. And we have two board members, Mrs. Battle, Mr. Rudd, Mrs. Foster. We appreciate your time and your Mrs. Stoll, Mrs. Hicks, your classes are on.
Thank you. Well, we would like to welcome you all to our very special program on self-esteem. For the last couple of months, the children, Mrs. Hicks and myself, and Mrs. Gilmore, our music teacher, have been working with them on learning some very special songs and poems. And we hope you will enjoy them as much as we did. Our first song that we're going to start out tonight with is called Best Friends.
Oh, sure.
I will not play a tug-of-war. I'd rather play a hug-of-war, where every
next poem is called What Shall I Be? Our next poem is called Love. Our next poem is called There's Someone I Know.
There's someone I know who I really can't stand. I wish he would bury his head in the sand, or move to the moon, or deep outer space. Whenever I see him, I make a weird face. Today during recess outside in the yard, she suddenly gave me a Valentine's card. I wish that she